Hey, welcome back, comic book community. This is Travis Grant, your friendly neighborhood comic book nerd, and today we're taking a look at Star Wars #1. Look at this scruffy nerf herder right here. The greatest space fantasy film of all, Star Wars. Enter Luke Skywalker. You know, the first appearance of Luke Skywalker, and film by George Lucas, 20th Century Fox. I believe this is the Whitman version. I've had this forever. I remember going to my grandma's house and asking her when I was a young lad, and I said, "Hey, you got any comic books?" I was really bad about just asking anybody and everybody when I was younger if they had any comic books laying around. You got any comic books laying around you don't need? And surprisingly, they gave me a Star Wars #1. If you can believe that, they must have bought a Whitman 3-pack and they had 3 comics. The other 2, I have no idea what happened. It kind of follows the movie, you know. It's the movie adaptation of it. You got the Star Destroyer blasting around on the whatchamacallit. And they're invading the stormtroopers are invading. They're shooting the rebel guards. The Empire's coming and they're like, "Hey, we think something is melting. Oh, I think something is melting. You know, you got to get out of there." And boop boop boop, wee. You know, they're the little droids are always making little things. Down here on Tatooine, we have Luke Skywalker. He's watching a battle down there, and there's a land speeder and his goofy little hat, and they're going back home. They're like, "Wow, I can't believe it." So here we go. Darth Vader's looking for an information retrieval system they've been wiped clean. Then this rebel will tell us what we need to know. Darth Vader sounds for you, and it's the 70s, so there's some wild colorations here in the background, and you know it's pretty wild, you know, the colors in this comic. Darth Vader, I want them alive. Bring them to me. I like this panel here. It's the panel where she's saying, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope." But I like the panel that CP3O is... Wait, isn't that CP3O? And that's RTD2. Yeah, I like how he's in the foreground and they're in the background. It's the perspective of it is pretty cool. And, you know, he's... You know, he's doing his little beeping and stuff. So they're getting in the panel. I like this panel too. The escape pod, the escape. They get in that, not the panel, but the escape pod, and it's shooting off. And I like how the space and it looks pretty cool. Now here we got Leia back aboard the ship, and she's ready to ambush this guard. But she gets shot. I don't think she got shot in the movie like that, but it's funny. They just blast her, and these 2 stormtroopers, she'll be all right. She'll be all right. Report to Lord Vader. You know, yeah, we just blasted her. She'll be all right. We just blasted her with a laser. She'll be okay. Luke, I told you. You kids, slow down. There's a whole guy. I told you damn kids, slow down. You know, he's going back home. I kind of like this panel. It's different because it's a green panel in the foreground, and it just pops. It's a really good panel. And then he's meeting, "Hey, when did you get back?" And then you know, he's meeting this guy, and he's saying, "Hey, I just saw a space battle up here," and the guy's, "Hey, let me see." No. You know, it's whatever. It's whatever at this point. Lord Vader, I believe he's this is a neat panel too. But there's some space up above here too. That's pretty neat. Lord Vader, you should have known. Only you could have been so bold. And I think that was Leia saying that. And then several transparent or whatever. And he's looking for something, but he's like, you talk. Take her away. So now we see the droids are landed on a planet. Beep beep beep. Woo. You know, they're you know, he's just doing his droid things. But they run into the sand people, or the sand people run into them, but they're shooting them. They shoot the dude from the back, and they get the sand people, and you know, are like, oh no. I think he follows them because he's like, oh no, I gotta follow him. So anyway, they don't even show him capturing CP3O. He's there, and maybe they shoot both of them. Hell, I don't know. It doesn't really convey it really good in the comic. This guy's talking some. I don't think that was his uncle, but it might have been his uncle. But I think this is one of his friends in the comic. I'm not for sure. Here we are back at the Empire side, and Darth Vader's having a meeting. What's their next plan? What's their next go? This guy doesn't appeal to Darth Vader, and he tells him to choke himself out, and so he's choking him. You know how Darth Vader rolls. He's like, he doesn't even force choke him. He makes the guy choke his own self out with his powers. You know. So here we are on Tatooine. The sand people, and then the droids are in here. It's an okay panel here because I kind of like the perspectives of it, and even the droid hand looks cool in this panel. This is pretty neat. That's kind of, but this one's a neat panel. That's a pretty neat panel too. They're talking to, and yes, this is a R2D2 model, you know, and they're just showing them off and stuff, and they're looking at the different droid, and that one kind of blows up, and you're like, hey, well, what about these two droids over here? You know, it's kind of just following along the movie. It's just kind of the bullpen kind of stuff of Star Wars, and explaining a little bit more lore to the comic buyer. Some flume, man. So then we have Luke. He bought the droids to bring them home. He's cleaning them up. He snaps the tool. Out comes Princess Leia. And Obi-Wan Kenobi, help me. You're my only hope. You know, it's just a woo, and it shuts off. And he's like, who the heck was that? What's going on? Obi-Wan Kenobi? Who is Obi-Wan Kenobi? And he's kind of messing around with it, just kind of like the movie, you know. He starts talking to Uncle, I thought it was Uncle Ben or something. And he's like, Obi-Wan, it's trouble, man. These droids are trouble. I told you we didn't need these droids for our field, you know. He's like, whatever, you know. It's kind of like the movie. He's kind of like, I'm gonna head off to the space bar or whatever he went to, and he's like, I'm gonna take these droids, whatever. So he takes the droids with him, and he zips off through the thing. By now, the rebel stormtroopers land on Tatooine. They find They're like, droids, sir. You know, they find, and I believe I don't know if they track them down, but here the speeder's going. Or sand people are watching them. Let's see. Looks like our droid hit the. Yeah. Oh, so he's chasing the other droid down. Oh, and he finally catches up to the droid. And about then and there, he's doing something. He's like, oh, worse. And then he hears the sand people. It's just in a blink, he sees the sand. He's like, oh gosh, sand people down here. And then he's like, look out. And he's oh. But in just the nick of time, he blocks it. They fall. And then this is where the comic ends. I got to get number 2 to figure out what happens. But I even like this panel right here because it's above these other panels, and it's good work. I like it. It's not too bad. This comic ain't too bad. But mine's in bad condition. It's a little beat. I think I spilled a Coke on it, or somebody set it down in something. It's water. It's wrinkly. It could use a good press and clean. All right, man. Thank you for watching this episode of Star Wars #1. Love you. Bye.